Well, it's about time, I guess, that I got this out of the way in terms of reviewing. That's right. I'm going to review Log Horizon. Oh boy. Now, before I go on with this review, I want to preface by saying I did not hate Log Horizon. In fact, far from it. I really enjoyed it. But it's not a great series. Alright. At least not to me, and I'm going to explain to you why in this review, of course. It's just, Log Horizon had potential to be amazing, but there were so many things that just stopped it from being amazing. So let's just get into this review. By its 11th expansion pack, the massively multiplayer online role-playing game Elder Tale has become a global success with a user base of millions of players. However, during the release of its 12th expansion pack, 30,000 Japanese gamers who were logged on at the time of the update suddenly find themselves transported into the virtual game world and donning in their game avatars. In the midst of the event, a socially awkward gamer named Shiroe, along with his friends Noatsugu and Akatsuki, decide to team up so that they may face this world, which unfortunately has now become their reality, along with challenges and obstacles ahead of them. And in a nutshell, that's it. The plot is very simple. And, I mean, this anime is by no means original, obviously, because there's lots of anime now that do this whole trapped inside of a game thing. But, like, Log Horizon was a very good series, though. Alright. The plot itself, I thought, was fine. I didn't think there was inherently anything wrong with the plot in and of itself. But there were certain things that they did with it that I just didn't agree with, like, apparently you don't die when you're killed anymore. What do I mean by this? Well, there's a cathedral somewhere on the outskirts of Akihabara, in which when players die, they just get transported to this world. Okay. Or this cathedral. Okay, here's a major fucking problem, though. It sounds like something so simple, but it is a huge problem. And the reason for this is because now that they've done that completely gets rid of any sort of suspense or like tension. I guess tension's the right word. It gets rid of any sort of fucking tension in the entire series. A series that could have been incredibly tense and dramatic, which there are still dramatic points, but a series that could have been incredibly fucking tense isn't anymore. And the main reason, really the only reason why, is because they put that stupid fucking plot point in there. If they would have kept that out and kept it to where people still die when they are killed instead of being resurrected at the fucking cathedral, this series could have been incredibly fucking tense, because we have some of our main characters dying in this series, but then they just get resurrected. And I think it's fucking retarded, and I think it was one of the biggest things that crippled the series for me. Alright, because there's no threat now. Anything that could have been a threat is completely gone. Regardless of what anyone says, it's completely fucking gone. And I'm not trying to sound like an ass here or anything, but it really is. When you consider that if someone dies, they just transport to the fucking cathedral and they're just fine. Oh, what's the biggest worry of theirs? Oh, they got separated from their fucking guild. Who cares? Go find it. It's really not that hard. In fact, we have that happen several times in the series. It's really not that fucking hard. Like, I know I'm going on and on and on about this one fucking thing, but it is an inherent problem throughout the series. And it's something that I hope that they fix in Season 2, which is airing this summer, and not fix in the sense of, like, just throw it in their half-ass, like, explain exactly why it's the case, since it wasn't present at all in season 1. But yeah, I know I keep going on and on about this, but it's one of the crippling factors of the series because now there's no reason to really care if any of these characters dies. I mean, most of them are pretty bland anyways, in my opinion, so I wouldn't care anyways. But that being said, even if I did, I wouldn't care if any of them fucking died. Except for, like, the character, what's his name? That, Rundus, or whatever his name was, who we learned later on he was actually a, NPC who wanted to be an adventurer. And actually, one of the things I do like about this series is that the NPCs actually seem like NPCs. Which is something I didn't expect. I didn't expect the characters to really converse with them a lot, but they do. The characters actually converse with them a lot, and the NPCs actually help them out a lot because this isn't just a game anymore. To the NPCs, this is the real world. So I really like that the creators actually, or maybe it was just the creator of the light novel, whatever, and took the initiative to actually include this. And the NPCs are actually very helpful at times, providing shelter. And in terms of Rundus, he provides lots of help in combat a lot too. So I did really like that aspect of the series. Alright. Other than that, though, there wasn't really any other complaints I have with the plot. But that one factor was so big, I just had to go on a rant about it. Alright. Now let's talk about the characters in depth, though. I guess we should start with the main character himself, Shiro. I really hate saying that, so I'm just going to call him Shiro. Shiro, to put it bluntly, I think he's a very bland and boring main character. Okay. Like, in Sword Art Online, people complain that Kirito is a Gary Stu. And first off, when I watched, like, this before I watched Sword Art Online. But when I watched Sword Art Online, I laughed my fucking balls off, okay? Not only because that statement, in and of itself, is completely fucking false, but because when you take a look at fucking Shiro and nobody's complaining about that, it honestly makes me laugh out of stupidity. Like, I'm not saying people are stupid because they don't like Sword Art Online, but the simple fact that people will say that Kirito's a Gary Stu, which is not true, by the way, and then claim that this guy isn't. Okay, I want to say this. At least Kirito struggles in Sword Art Online, okay? And I'm going to go into a huge fucking rant about this when I do my comparison video, which of course, nobody's ever fucking thought of doing. But at least Kirito struggles. Alright. At least he struggles. At least he has conflict that actually makes me care about him. Like, I'm not saying Shiro's the worst main character I've ever seen, but he's such a boring main character. He never fucking struggles. Maybe a tiny bit, like, in terms of emotional struggle, but even that is highly pushing it, and he never struggles in a fucking fight. Ever. Sure, I wish Kirito struggled more in fights. Really, there's only like 3 bosses I can count, like boss villains I can count where he actually did struggle. I wish he did struggle more in fights, but that's way more than we could fucking ask Shiro for. Honestly. Like, I just don't fucking get it. I honestly don't see why people will call Kirito a Gary Stu, but then completely look over this fucking guy right here. Come on. He's such a bland and boring main character. Whew, oh boy. Then we have Akatsuki, and I liked Akatsuki as a character. She was really funny, especially when she was making fun of, what was his name? Now, Tsugu, because I wasn't a fan of him as a character either. It's not making fun of him, but beating him up because he's a pervert and whatnot. I thought Akatsuki was a really cool character, and and her character was interesting because she actually really got into the whole thing that she is, which in the game she is a ninja assassin, and she's incredibly fucking loyal to Shiro. I don't remember exactly why. I think he like saved her or something like that. But she's incredibly fucking loyal to Shiro and always calls him her master. And she's like a ninja assassin type of character, and she's really into it. She acts as her character, which really makes it really hard and actually definitely impossible to say what her real personality actually might be in real life. It's really cool. All right. Then of course there's Naotsugu, like I said before, who I don't care for as a character. My favorite character in the series was actually Minori. Minori is a girl who. Hold on a sec here. Minori was basically a girl who was a member of a guild. All right. A young girl trapped in the world of Elder Hell with her brother Toya. Minori was in it, and her brother was basically in a guild, and the guild master was really cruel to all the members. And eventually she and her brother are saved by Shiro, and so the two of them end up joining Shiro's guild. I forget what Shiro's guild is called. But yeah, that's the basic gist of it. And Minori was my favorite character because because during a point, I forget when it happened in the series, like maybe midway through the series or a little bit before, you actually get to see Minori and her brother in their previous guild, and you get to see them struggle emotionally with their guild and their guild master. And I think there's actually a point where Shiro saves them, but then walks away, and you see them so desperately wanting to find Shiro again to join up with him. I don't think they know at that point they actually have the guild though. And really from that point on, all the way to the end of